Hello friend, let's learn about how to write CSS selector for drop down elements. There are multiple types of drop down like normal drop down which we are able to inspect them. Then there are drop downs which we can't drop down values which we can't inspect which we can't inspect easily, and there are some drop down values which are not easily possible through means by click or right click. So let's see what all types are there. So let me first show you the simple one which we can at least inspect and write css selector. So suppose here, if you just hover on these elements, so there is this drop down. Okay, on test project website, if you right click on this and inspect, you see that we are able to inspect that particular element. So we have inspected this advanced scripting capabilities here under platform, right? So we are able to inspect this element. If you inspect any other element, like let's say eg test automation, inspect, so yes, we are able to inspect. So we can write css selector for such elements easily. So like you can keep it on or off, doesn't matter. A here, okay, and then you see that those options are available. So here we have written, and now if you hover that, that element is highlighted by SelectorsHub here. Okay, so this way we can write that these are simple drop downs which we are able to inspect. On inspecting, we are able to find them in DOM. So these are simple one, we can write them. Now dynamic drop downs which we cannot inspect easily, like these drop downs. Let's say if we inspect here under on flipkart.com, if you inspect this health and uh, under electronics, if you inspect any element, let's say mobile accessories, inspect, you see that that element is not showing in DOM. We are not able to inspect that particular element easily here. There are ways, like you can F12, then hold and debug, turn on debug mode. So yes, that way it is possible, but easily it is not possible. You see that that element is not not able to inspect. Now what is the solution in that case? Yes, selectors hub comes with amazing comes as a boon here in this in such situations. So you just right click on that particular element, and here you see that copy relative XPath option is there. We can have all the options here. You just on the context menu, just which all options you want, you can keep it turn on here. If you want off, you can off, or all the options which you want, you can turn it on here. Now if you right click and inspect any element for which you want the XPath or CSS selector, whatever you want, you can just click on this. So now if you come here on SelectorsHub channel, uh, and you see that it is not showing any of the nothing it is showing, because none of the element is inspected here. That is the reason. If you inspect it here, then it will come here. Now let's paste the value which we have copied from the drop down. Now press enter. You see it is showing 0 matching node. But if you hover on this, now if we will press enter, then it will highlight that particular element for which we have copied the CSS selector, because on hover that element is loading on the DOM. Now press enter, you see that health and personal care we have inspected. Now suppose if you want mobile accessories, let's copy that one. Let me copy the relative XPath, because that will have text, so you would be able to understand. You see mobile accessories, right now it is not loaded, so showing 0. If you hover on that and press enter, it is showing. If you want CSS selector for that particular element, right click and you can copy relative CSS selector, this one, and press value. This is the one. Hover and then press enter. So this way we will be able to generate and create the CSS selector, XPath, and whatever value you want to create, that you can easily generate and get the values from here. Now there are drop downs which are not possible. Even by right click we cannot get those values of drop down. Means by copying the value by right click also we cannot copy the value. Let's say here if we search for Goa and these drop downs, if you want, as soon as you will right click and copy, you see that that is gone here. From here you see, if you type anything on any action, like as soon as we do right click, that used to go away. If you now copy, that value will not come. So then what to do here in this case? Like let's say Lucknow, if we right click and copy this value, what it gives, let's see. I believe it will not give the right value. You see, it gives something random value, this element. Okay, so right now it is not possible, but yes, an innovation has done, it's under testing, and it will be released soon with SelectorsHub 3.0 next version. Let me show you a glimpse of that, how that feature will work. So suppose here you want this feature, we want to inspect. Let me just first refresh the page because I've just turned it on. Okay, still it is showing me 3.0. We want to see next version of SelectorsHub here. Yes, so this is the next version of SelectorsHub which you are seeing now. Here if you type go up, let's say, and you see that we are not able to inspect this element, right? So what you will have to do before doing that, you just turn it on here, this turn on debugger button is going to come here. Click on this. Now you just type here go up, and you will be able, we will be able to inspect this element now, and we will be able to write that css selector or XPath for such elements as well. So now you can easily write it here and build the css selector for this particular element. So yeah, this will also be possible in the next release. So yeah, that's what about like writing css selectors for dynamic drop down, normal drop down elements. So if you are able to inspect that element and that value is available in the DOM, then yes, then you can say then you can write the css selector for that. If that is dynamic, not coming in DOM, you can copy the value, and in the from the next version you would be able to even inspect, even you will be able to inspect those elements which are which we are not able to inspect today. So yeah, that's what all about dynamic drop downs. In the next lecture we will see the tips and tricks to save more time while writing automation script and using css selector, XPath, etc. Thank you.